I haven't seen much of that in the big series that Sentinels has played in, and right now, I'm expecting Spartan to really own this. He's put in so much time and work as an individual for this World Championship. It would be a shame to see Sentinels fall short of their goals and him not step up to the plate.
Maybe Sentinels are finding it a little bit more difficult.
It's their defensive rate. Sentinels just haven't really been able to get those returns. Once that flag is out of their base, they seem to have lost a little bit too much of control, whereas on the flip side, Native White are far better at regaining that control.
Game one of the series. As we load in, so much riding on the line. Neither team wants to go home here. Shields up, weapons hot, we're underway.
And we've been waiting to see what this Native White roster can really do. I mean, when Mikwin returned, I think there was a lot of eyebrows raised about the team that he was going to build. Were they going to be able to be a team that can challenge for the top spot? And they never really lived up to that. But the World Championship is the perfect time to make a name for yourselves, and it has to start here against Sentinels, who might be a bit deflated after that loss we just saw on the main stage.
Mikwin chasing his flag. Boobadooboo throws down a little sizzle stick. Boobadooboo is down to no shields. Will get taken care of. Tapping buttons has fallen elsewhere though. This flag should get sent home. And they have a flagpole of their own. Both flags will stand still. Mikwin putting down a lot of damage here as he pushes it towards the back base. A trade, double kill. That could open the door for his teammates to follow through.
This is the guy we need to be watching. He's been putting up such big numbers on CTF Aquarius for Native White throughout this season. Has the QT available to use. The flag does get returned. At least the shots are going to be up for him, and now he can start to get aggressive. But this is where you need to be communicating to the team, saying, hey, I'm doing damage, I'm managing to press a couple of people. Yes, Spectre comes in and we'll finish off the damage that he's done. As long as the comms are there for Native White, they can really start to push onto Sentinels now.
Tapping buttons continues to use that get out of jail free card. He hasn't had the pass go just yet. Lethal down to half shields, top middle. Collect's already got the flag. 75% the way there. But tapping buttons in hot pursuit will finally take down the former world champion of Lethal. But it's very scrappy right now. Native White just ever so slightly edging it.
But again, it is Collect that's moving the flag. It's Boo Boo on the other side who keeps trying to get those pulls to be a nuisance behind. But at the moment, tapping buttons is just roaming. He's really frustrating Sentinels in the places that he's sitting because they are just getting shot in the back over and over. And Native White will take the lead 1-0 here. The perfect start for them.
Have Native White just given up a little bit too much control of the map. Mikwin's in a good spot to stop any push. They know exactly where he is though. Wise to the experienced man. He's behind enemy lines. He hasn't been taken care of just yet. He's putting down a lot of damage in the back as Mikwin. Perfect shots into the back of Falcated. And all of a sudden, Boobadooboo and Spartan are very concerned about their own base. This flag has to stop. It's delayed just a touch, that's all from the good work of Mikwin.
Mikwin just trying to stay quiet here, trying to go unnoticed, waiting to see if teammates can do damage. He at least gets a trade, so he's done his job, and now it's for Suspected to clean up. He's the last remaining player, so he's got a lot to do here, but he's going to get pressured by two. And even though you've got a good old fella and friend of a heatwave, unfortunately it's not enough.
Flag has made some serious progression on the map. Tapping buttons in big trouble, about to lose his life. Lethal, tip-tap-toe, flag home. 1-1 now, the score.
And that's a great response from Sentinels as well. You can't afford to allow Native White to have too much control, but all four go down. And this is going to be a counter-cap possibility. So both teams committing a lot, but off the rip, Spartan making sure he shuts down Collect, and it might just shut down that flag, but no, there is going to be Suspector there to make sure he picks it up as well.
Suspector doubles back. Not feeling a little bit too safe, with good reason.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful thrust to avoid one. Drops down, gets the touch. Beautiful from Suspector, double kill to keep this flag alive. Sentinels are 3 dead.
And this should be a cap now, you'd imagine. There's going to be one player who can potentially overextend, or a little bit of a fumble, which will allow extra time, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Collect slides it 2-1 to Native White. So Sentinels, they sent everything for that flag. They really committed, and it allowed Native White just to regain that map control.
Fumble, not too detrimental to the cause. 2-1 the score. 8 minutes, change in the clock. Very fast-paced game of Aqua Flag, excuse me. Booba Doobu will scoop up the QT. Bottom middle will be the point that he can TP to if need be. He employs it pretty quickly and pretty early here. As he goes from P side to car, Spectre's in trouble over towards the fridge. Boobu eventually gets the kill, gets himself immediately out of dodge.
Just have to keep track of where that QT is going to be. Mikwin, though, wise to it. Able just to finish off the third player, as Native White only have Suspector now up. So Sentinels can try and take a little bit of height here, take some control. Suspector putting some good damage down as the last player, but he does eventually get spotted out.
At the moment, the Slay's favouring Native White. Ever so slightly, 4 kills difference. 1 flag advantage they have, but now they're in trouble as Spartan lays siege to the Native White base. Lethal's got hands on flag, and it's on the move.
Spartan just double checking top middle. It looks like Native are going for an overextension over towards P, so Spartan has to flank around here to do some damage from a distance. Is he going to be a little bit too late to arrive? Tapping is going to get caught off guard. Should go down, but does not. But it looks like Collect has already done the job. The return's going to happen. Oh, so close for Sentinels, but unfortunately Native White gets the job done.
Spartan just didn't have the sprinters on. Valcade on the shroom stairs, tapping buttons though, has a heat wave. And that will be successful in quelling the pressure. And now they have an opportunity to pull a flag of their own. Booba Doobu down to no shields. Tapping buttons was hesitant to step out, and with good reason. Spartan was there, double kill for him.
Yeah, this is going to be a dead flag, Shurs, and Sentinels doing a little bit better at defending now, ensuring they're not throwing too many bodies. They're also doing well off spawn with the grenades and with the damage to make sure that Native White don't have easy pulls, but they just have to be careful of Collect, who keeps getting an easy flank behind. He's just kind of wandering down through bottom middle, and then suddenly he's behind enemy lines, and Sentinels can't allow it to happen too often.
Mikwin and Spartan, no strangers to each other's game. Trading shots. It was a killing spree for the dog. He gets sent back to his kennel. Booba Doobu will pull the flag, but has to give it up for now. Play a little bit more patient as he waits and lays a trap. And in steps, tapping buttons, and has his life taken away. His flag is delayed for now. Suspector will get a kill elsewhere, and that will hinder the cause. Booba Doobu has to play this one expertly, but Lethal's got 2 elsewhere, and that's going to be huge.
Mikwin was at least able to shut down 1. They're going to have to try and do some damage from a distance. Flags are out, and Collect actually will throw his body on the line to try and get the touch. So this is going to make it slightly more difficult. Tapping then follows up, so now it's going to be flag for flag. What could have been a comfortable cap for Sentinels will now have to be a wrestle for control here in the middle.
Boobu puts it in reverse, backs away.
5 minutes remaining.
Hoping to do some damage to help his team. Has he given up too much territory here, too much of the map? Able to get that final kill on the Collect, and Mikwin solo all alone, all 4 dead for Native White. Expertly done from Sentinels. 2-2 now the score.
So they win the flag standoff. It wasn't too long a standoff. It was never really in a comfortable position for Native White. It was more just desperate antics to try and keep the flag alive, to try and delay the inevitable. But all in the meanwhile, they kind of forfeited the map control here, and Sentinels can now try and press, take advantage of it. Native White very much on the back foot right now. 3 dead, Collect the last remaining player.
Native White in the ropes. Lethal looking to land a haymaker here. Already got the flag over to the car side. No sizzles to scoop up here. Hoping to take as minimal damage as he can. Down to 1 shot. Has to slow down. Happy to put his body on the line just to touch and toss it. One more bit. 2 dead now. An opportunity for Native White to collapse.
We are seeing those stats come to fruition, though. Native White are far better at defending their flag, getting those returns. And I think it's probably annoying Sentinels because they're getting so close to a lot of these flag captures, but then suddenly Collect appears out of nowhere and gets that return. And Sentinels just need to make sure they don't allow that frustration to kind of seek into their gameplay here. 3 minutes and 30 left on the clock, so you don't have to worry about time just yet because we're tied up 2-2.
Early game, it was Native White who had the slaying advantage. Sentinels in the mid game towards this end game now. They're beginning to outslay. They hold a 6-kill advantage. All tied up on the scoreboard though, and like you say, Native White very good at defending.
Suspect is leading the charge for slays for the team. He's going to catch out a Boo Boo Doo unaware. You can see checking every corner, checking every angle, knowing there could be a Spartan lurking around the corner, and Falcated off spawn also helps out.
Mikwin gets 2. Your denial grenades go down. Triple kill. Can Mikwin turn this into an over? Lethal wisely tries to get away. Tapping buttons there. But the damage has already been done. This flag's almost all the way home. Native White take the lead.
And they're going again as well. Mikwin says, get this flag out of the base once more. Let's keep Sentinels on the back foot here. Keep this pressure up, boys. What that pull does is allow the likes of Collect, who has run that flag, to now regain a position. Get to top card, get to top P, wherever you may want to go to get even more kind of height over these players that are spawning on the side of Sen.
Remain locked with Mikwin. Just block spawns in the base.
Return.
He's got teammates in the respawn screen, tapping buttons, has to wait, has to insert the coin to play again. Boo Boo over towards Car, has to give it up. Mikwin's gonna slide out, flags on the move now. Mikwin's just been a thorn in their side all game long.
Yeah, 19 kills now for Mikwin alongside 10 assists. Intelligently just backs away after doing that initial damage. They don't need to desperate this flag, Native White, but I tell you what, if they can move and groove alongside it whilst Mikwin's getting these kills, it might just naturally find its way into the base. Because Sentinels are very aware of Mikwin's presence and they're all off spawn trying to take him down. They eventually do so, but at what cost? Spartan, the last remaining player to try and stay alive, but it looks like Collect's going to get the read.
Tag puts a little bit of time on the return. Falcade tries to do the same. Mikwin and tapping buttons, excuse me, will ensure this flag stays alive. They still have to get it home. Collect finishes the job that he started. A 2 lead for Native White. Sentinels are in trouble.
I love that from Collect as well. A little bit of time on the return, then grabs the flag, puts it on the spot, then finishes off the return as well. I said that his steals per game were the best for Native White. He was the guy who was objectively focused. If you consider what an incredible slayer Collect is alongside that, he really is the perfect recipe that Native White needed in this game to try and right their wrongs in terms of CTFs throughout this season. But Sentinels looking to try and now maybe get 2 back-to-back flags in 45 seconds. It's definitely doable, but Mikwin's going to try and slow him down.
Mikwin's there again. Being a pest. And he gets the stop on the lethal. Tapping buttons there too. 30 seconds remain. Native White, excuse me, are holding the line well.
Yeah, with that return, you think now it's going to be too much of a task for Sentinels to get back into this one. And I said it had to be Aquarius, really, if we were going to see Native White winning on Capture the Flag. And they really just seem to be so much better on Argyle. We saw them just really struggling. On Empyrean, really struggling as well. 1 in 7 across those maps. But now, it seems like Aquarius is their home when it comes to Capture the Flag, and they should be able to solidify this one 4-2 as they take the first map in this series. And does that start to be a worry here for Sentinels?
Native White draw first blood. And the hangover, that Optic Gaming series, seems to be looming large over the head of these Sentinels boys. They have got to bounce back. They continue to play the way they are. They're heading home.
But finally, it seems like these 4, they're locked in on the main stage. And are they now going to be able to go back-to-back here in maps 1 and 2 to try and take a very commanding lead in this series?
Can Native White double their series lead? Or will Sentinels roar back to life? Find themselves down in the series. They've been here before, and they've bounced back, and it's time for Spartan to lead the charge.
And this is a better slayer for Native White. They're 5-5 across the season. It's 4-6 for Sentinels. So it's one of their worst Slayers. And for Native White, they've been out slaying Sentinels in general throughout the season as well. Slayers have been their better map and mode combination. Sentinels have trended towards the objective, and that's why it was so important that we saw Native White get an objective game under the belt, especially a captain flag that they've not beaten them on before.
Spartan gets one. 3 dead for Native White. Collect with the snipe. A couple of shots sent over towards Spartan, not going to find a home though. Tapping buttons will ensure the dog is sent to the grave right now. And then we're on board with Falcade. You see the pace of the game. It's not hectic, it's not frantic just yet. Both teams playing this extremely patiently.
And one thing we've learned throughout this weekend is the importance of back tower as well. We really saw FaZe manipulate this map in a way where they would hold back tower, frustrate their opponents, and then burst out when the time was right. I think teams are learning that back tower really can be a power position at times, depending on those spawns. But Boo with the heat wave will be able to shut down Suspector. As you say, a slow start at the moment, but live fire can be that way. It can slow down and then ramp up just when you least expect it.
Mickwin's back tower. FaZe were there so often, I felt like we should have renamed it back FaZe. Here is Boo with the heat wave. 20 seconds until we see the overshield. Boo might just get the audio cue. There's a player underneath him. 3 members of Native White positioned over towards green. Falcade gets one. Tapping buttons now on pillars. He's got Suspector hand in hand with him. But it's Boo-Boo's battle rifle shots that ring through. And he re-engages now, changing trajectories, clearing out all the bottom middle here. So much information garnered, and Spartan has the overshield.
Yeah, notice how Boo didn't kind of get desperate seeing the overshield was up and pushed towards it. Instead, he took space on the map. He made sure he took advantage of the fact of the weapons he had and the positions he had to shoot Sentinels in the back. Or shoot Native White in the back, excuse me, and allowed his teammates to instead secure a little bit of overshield presence. Timing is everything when picking up that OV as well. Sentinels still have a 2-kill lead, but Native White have done well not to allow the overshield to overwhelm.
Spartan now, bottom middle. Couple of kills go in favor of the boys in red and black. Falcade picks another one up on the collect. He's having a slow start to his game here. 1 and 4, has 4 assists, so being directly involved in 5 gun engagements that have resulted in a kill. As you can see him throwing down a couple of nades here, knowing exactly what Spartan wants. Going for the combat evolves, clears his exit as well. Thought about going back towards tower to the cover of his teammates, stayed in the shroud screen instead, and that's come back to bite him.
Greeted by several members in that shroud screen as well, though. You hope when you hide in the smoke that no one's going to be brave enough to join you, but Native White were more than happy to send themselves into the unknown, as Collect now will recover that sniper rifle and has it over towards tower. So Sentinels just need to be aware of that, either push it very aggressively now, which they do, and that will allow them to have tower control for themselves.
Boo over towards green. Couple of spike grenades scooped up into the back pocket. Hopefully they don't dig into his legs too much. Mickwin extends sandbags. Tapping buttons will now push the doors, knowing there's damage been done onto Boo. It looks as though he's picked up a lot of grenade damage, and his lifeless body clings onto the wall. Native White have completely cleared out green.
Well, every time you think that Sentinels are going to have an advantage, start to roll away with this game, Native White just force their way back in. They boot the door down. I think that's going to start to frustrate Sentinels a little bit, as they give up potentially another overshield now. So what can Native White do with it? We saw Sentinels were able to get a couple of kills as Mickwin gets shut down. He could have potentially done more with that heat wave, but he got spotted out by Spartan.
Native White have to be very careful, because you cannot pet that dog. He will fall on pillars. Suspector and Collect will fall elsewhere as well, though. Sentinels still hold a slender lead, put to 1 now. Tapping button's doing a lot of damage. Beautiful trade, but a double kill. Unofficial, it may be. Heat wave now, and repulsor for Mickwin. Could be very important to dictate the next few passages of play if he can have an influence with this heat wave. All 4 members of Sentinels positioned towards house and sandbags here, and you can see they're inviting the pressure on.
Yeah, the call is very much keep this game slow. It was Mickwin who got spotted out last time when he was trying to make the play with the heat wave, just the 3 bullets. and he knows he can make an impact here. Second time's a charm. He's able to get up this time. There was a little bit of embarrassment the first time when he didn't manage to repulse her up. This game is so slow, and you can see what it means to these guys because you mentioned it. Loser goes home. This could be the end of their season, the end of your championship run in this series. For Sentinels, they cannot afford to go 2-0 down here and force themselves to have to reverse sweep.
Communication is always so important. Both these teams' tournament life's on the line. Let's have a native white listening and see what they're doing.
You guys, out of tower, guys.
Hey, pot. Top tower, top tower weak, top tower definitely weak, Sparty. Hey, Victor, top tower, we need to kill him.
Yo, it nest,
bottom tower on me.
Hey, pot, one shot, guys.
Hey, cuts to top tower, Top middle. That's all. Whenever kill that guy, top tower, lethal's on you guys. They have OB dummies. I can melt them though.
Oh, going dice, maybe.
Work together, boys.
One dice. Yo, I spawned in 1 second.
A plat.
I spawned green. What is this? What is
Yes,
this?
shots.
Cater, training on you, training. He's looking at me, he's in green, in 2. He has E-wave.
Okay.
Lethal.
He has repost too. He has repost.
I'm off.
Gonna be a
I
plat.
got him.
I'm dead though.
Or Victor.
They know I'm here.
Buy UK.
Behind you.
Back green.
He has repost. Be careful.
Under that.
One shot, 2 there.
No, okay.
We're green. We're in
There's sniper back green, 2.
Too weak. Nice. One more weak. Big green.
Nice.
Good shit.
And that's pillars. Yeah,
Dumper somewhere.
Yo,
pillars. One shot pillars. Absolute bottom middle.
Okay, come.
Lethal.
Very bottom middle.
I can't see. I have a fucking 4 bullets line.
Buy Yessa.
Bottom middle. 2 of them. 2 dummy door.
Cuts.
I got one. Another one bottom middle.
Top
I got
tower.
one.
Sentinels starting to show a little bit of resilience here. Midwin almost in reserve, taking the L right now. Down by almost 9. Excuse me, it is 9.
But also
Maps are hard.
tapping buttons, the silent assassin in the moment. 17 kills, isn't saying a word right now. Of course, we know different languages and whatnot, but he's just absolutely hyper-focused and locked in. And they need to let him go. They need to allow him to just continue what he's doing. Only 2 assists, but he is just listening to everything, patrolling the map and finishing off these kills. This game is not done yet for Native White. Down by 8, but still very much achievable is a victory. This overshield could be their key to victory here.
Any language barriers there may be. Everybody in this venue speaks Halo, fluent in it actually. Tapping buttons needs help from his team here. Because right now Sentinels are showing ice, looking to get themselves right back into this series after losing a very convincing game 1. On board with Boo Boo now. Overshield into the chest. This could be exactly what they need to close out the game.
Yeah, you'd imagine now the game should be done. It was a great push from Sentinels. They pinched Native White. Not only do they shut down Tapping, who is their immediate threat because he's the one who's on fire, but then they're able to secure that overshield. A 10-kill lead, 5 now remain for Sent, and Native White, they're going to have to make sure they're sticking as a unit. You heard Midwin in the comms just saying, look, play together. Don't allow any easy trades happen for Sentinels here. And unfortunately, they have come through because Sentinels have been so aggressive in their pushes. They really upped the pace in the final stages of this game.
Spartan and Leaf will continue to lead the charge. Sniper rifle now to play with. Lost a couple of teammates. Peeks to his left just to see exactly where players are positioned. Midwin goes down. Tapping could be about to join him. All the confidence in the world to plant his feet, line up the no-scope. Gonna miss 1, gonna miss 2, but it's enough damage has been done. 3 dead for Sentinels. They only require 1 more kill, and it could be lethal. He could be the difference maker once again in this series. So far in this layer, playing so well. A warning shot fired across, has so much ammunition to play with. Can really pick his spot and take his time with them.
Yeah, Native are just going to stick as a 4 now, hope that they can maybe get a 4 for 0 trade onto Sentinels and try and make it 49-45, but it's going to be tough.
Lethal fires 1. Yeah. Nothing but air this time. Connection desperate trying to get away. Straight into the hands of Lethal. And Sentinels are right back into this thing. Series score 1-1.
And even though Tapping was able to put down some damage and get plenty of kills, Sent just held control of the map for a little bit too long, and I really loved that push that they had in those kind of final moments with that last overshield that we saw in play. They tactically just placed 1 player over towards green to be a little bit of a distraction, start peppering them in the back. Outright coin flip here. This is probably the biggest question mark in the series layout when you look at these 5 game types, and it could really define who takes home this victory across the board, because when you look at the other game types that are available, they do trend towards certain teams, whereas this one is the biggest question mark. So who's been putting more time into Solitude?
We know Spartan has another gear. We've seen it. This game, right here, right now, could be series defining, tournament defining, season defining. One more time, Sentinels and Native White will go toe to toe this year on Solitude Strongholds. We're underway.
Spartan trying to instantly get hold of that sniper, but good nades from Native White to shut them down, as well as a couple of more members of Sentinels. 3 have fallen. For Strongholds, you have to be kind of very aware of your game plan coming into this. Are you going to be trying to out-rotate your opponents? Are you going to be trying to go for trip cap, or do you just go for the BNC hold, force them back into yard, and wait for them to press? As again, 3 go down for Sen. That snipe shot could have been everything, will be, and now Sen find themselves on the back foot yet again.
BC in control of Native White. B is being contested for the moment. They've cleared out the riffraff. Spartan sent back to the pound. Boobadooboo S1 backed all the way up. He's in big trouble. And he also falls. Native White appeared to have control of snipe. And as a result of that, they will hold C. But Sentinels elsewhere. Capture A and B. This one's going to be back and forth, I can already feel it.
Speaking of elsewhere, results coming in. Quadrant beating Native Red 3-2 in a game 5, and will progress to the winner's semi-finals to go up against Space Station. So already here in the championships, I mean, we're having such incredible games across the board. On that side, it was about moving forward. For here, it's about trying to stay alive. There's 2 players trying to stay alive at the moment on loop, but they're unable to do so.
3 down for Native White. Lethal has the map to himself for the moment. He weighs up his options. Decides to try and survive. Mikwin spawns back up over towards Garbage Truck, steps inside B, and immediately turns his attention to try and help his team score once more.
Yeah, Native White doing very well at fighting over towards B. C has to be the target for Sen, but every single time they seem to kind of get caught out, tapping buttons in a position to try and contest C at the moment. But finally, Sentinels get hold of it, and now they get held of the tower as well. So this is where Native White should be forced back, probably will have to retreat to A, and now they're going to have to be the team to break out.
Triple cap locked in tight. It's all about the spawns now. Can Sentinels keep them within arm's reach and ensure they can claim as maximum points here as they possibly can? Suspector's in trouble. Faced with 2 members. Mikwin and tapping buttons over towards blue. They're all spawning that way now. Information has been garnered from Boo Boo. And they're going to slip away. Look to re-engage. As no doubt, Native White have to gather their momentum, gather their thoughts, and push out successfully here because they're losing so many points.
Yeah, this is so detrimental for Native White here. This is such a good passage of play for Sentinels. Their push might have taken a while, but it has been worth it because they've secured a long old trip cap. Do they try and fight B here? Yes, they do, and they don't quite get the reset, but they will take down 2 members. And Sentinels are going to look to try and again lock in the 3. It might be enough of a distraction when Native White off spawn might be able to trickle into A or C, but it looks like they're still trying to press B. And you've got to be careful here. If you keep going to B, you're going to play into the hands of this trip cap for Sen. Native White are in 6s and 7s at the moment. They just can't find their footing.
Native White made it to the ropes for a moment, but Sen pulled them away and locked in the triple cap once more. And they're center of the ring right now. They're in big trouble. They could be tapping out any moment. Oh, Spartan finds 1.
And now this is where you give up A. You've lost lethal, so you say, okay, well, they finally stopped the trip cap. Look at all the points we've been able to secure. Now we just set up around B and C. You've got Spartan to be able to watch certain angles. Does catch one over towards Loop. But B is going to be the target for Native White. And you just need people who are prepared to dive in and contest at this point. But no one's there quick enough from Sen.
Native White finally find their feet. So much damage done. Sentinels pulled off a heist. Their bag is brimming full of points. But Now it's an opportunity for Native White to lock one in of their own. Will they be as successful? Can they hold it for as long as Sentinels did?
No, is the answer. They didn't press A. They didn't really have the map control or the spawns to do so. So instead, they're going to sit back and try and do the more defensive approach of just holding these two strongholds. His sniper for Collect could make a big difference though, but he gets aggressive, unable to connect with the melee. And he just has to back off. At least he had the QT to retreat.
A and B.
Enemy team score.
For Sentinels now. They're scoring again. Native White, yet another point pass over the 100-point threshold. That could be about to change very shortly.
Here we go.
As they get B once more.
Enemy team score.
Sentinels spawn up towards Loop. Lethal's trying to get at least a trade. He's done so successfully. And that should give Sentinels an opportunity to build and press from the spawn. But all of a sudden, Native White is beginning to collapse. Falcate's in trouble. Over towards Flowers here. He will fall. Killing spree for the Soul Collector. BC remain in control of Native White. And they're starting to close the distance.
Falcate and Lethal last remaining 2. Lethal tries to have a little fight over towards B, but knows he has to retreat here. Can't take that fight. Needs some teammates. Needs some help. He gets some spawners at least. But Sen, they were able to gain such a commanding lead that there still isn't a panic situation for them just yet. My worry is if Sen commit too hard, losing all 4 dead, Native White then might be able to lock in that trip cat themselves.
This next couple of minutes, so important. What way this game swings. B is the battle, B is the fight, and Native White on top. They continue to get slays. 2-for-1 kills on the map. And very quickly, that 140-point lead that Sentinels have worked so hard to claim, it's almost completely gone.
Yeah, 2 very different approaches, isn't it? You got Sentinels who made all their points from that one period of play where they locked down the trip cap, whereas Native White seem to be better at defending the 2 cap here. Someone needs to contest B, and Suspector might even have to dive in himself, but it looks like Sentinels finally get their breakthrough. They will just about, no, okay, there's gonna be a final player. Collect here at the right time. Did he get a double? Yes, he can, and he gets the reset. Massive from Collect here for Native White.
Collect swoops in, handles business. Clears out the Sentinels boys. That will mean they will continue to score. Tapping buttons has fallen. Numbers advantage for now in favor of Sentinels. 2v2 on the map. Spartan stepped inside B, but he's clearing his angles, clearing his corners. Lethal's there too. And it's the Spectre on Garbage Truck who tries to get away. A and B now for Sentinels.
But even though it took so long for Sentinels, they still have the lead because of that trip cap situation. And now Native White, they can't allow the same thing to happen again when they lose B. Have to win this engagement. They've shut down the first, and now you've got the player advantage. You can take that fight over towards B. They will regain it here. Even with Boo Boo getting that kill, there's going to be enough players in there. But all 4 go down. It's a triple for Boo Boo. So they got B, but it was only temporarily. And now Sentinels will regain map control here.
S1 spawns for Native White, which means B will be the point of contention once more. They've got the first pick as they all sort out together. Strength in numbers. Boo Boo Doo Boo thinning the herd though. Suspector S4 will drop down to help his teammates. Miquin's positioned over towards Hotel. And Boo Boo says, screw this, I'm gonna try and take C. A backstab here on S1. And Miquin looks like he's taking the bait. Killing spree for Boo Boo locked in.
I love that though from Boo Boo. A little distraction, just dips his toes into C, then moves around, is able to get behind a player. 3 have gone down for Native White. And Sentinels in the ascendancy now. Not only did they have A and C, but now they're starting to take B whilst Native off spawn will try and grab C.
Enemy team
And this is an absolute war. It's a scrap down at B. And this could be one of the biggest fights in the game right here, but unfortunately Bandit does not get the job done. And Sentinels seem to be on top.
Every time Collect puts out a fire, one starts elsewhere. But Native White, they have control for now. But we know it won't be for long with how these 2 teams are playing.
Suspector.
Beautiful kill from Suspector. Could be one of the most important in the game. Boo Boo slides down U-bend once more, looking to be an influence. Miquin has the snipe. We know what that means. Double kill. And Collect gets the contest as well. And this could very quickly be a tied game.
Suddenly A is being contested as well. They are caught at the moment. Sentinels at bottom middle. They have to try and wrestle back something to stop this bleeding. And those 2 snipes from Mikman were massive, but 4 go down for Native Whites, who just when they thought they were back in this game, maybe they got a little bit overzealous there, pushing for that trim cap, and it gives suddenly Sentinels this control. 20 seconds away from winning map number 3.
Boo Boo in blue. It's Blue Boo Doo Boo for now. Boo Boo gets one on the tapping buttons. Mikman's all alone, isolated on S1. 4 dead for Native White again. And Sentinels are on the road to victory here. Native White perhaps have one more push. And the option has come to try and play A. Tapping buttons is in massive trouble, and he will go down. And Sentinels will claim the game.
And I really felt it was all won from that just one passage of play where about 150 points were scored when they held that trip cap. When they were just throttling Native White and they couldn't escape the spawn trap. And unfortunately, even though Native White, they held a double cap for so long, you can really see how it can influence the game just to have that trip cap locked in. And they are 2 very different play styles, because to try and lock down a trip cap, you have to be moving together, you have to be rotating together.
Mikman's first year back in competitive Halo in many moons could be about to end in misery if him and his team can't pull themselves up by the straps and go again here. Boo Boo will be the point of contention, both trade shots, trade damage. Boo Boo looks to bite off more than he can chew here. He wants more.
It has been a really interesting series though. 2 teams who play it very differently. One who's slightly better at defending, one who's slightly better at attacking, and they just kind of butt heads in certain scenarios. And King of the Hill might be one of the best maps and modes to really display the difference here as 3 go down for Native White. So Sen can start to score first. And it's whether Sen try and kind of press these spawns a little bit, and instead of necessarily trying to hold a setup, as it were. The bottom middle hill, you really have to be thinking about where you're positioning yourself for the next.
Very peaceful in the hill for Spartan right now. Matchmaking is not like that for me.
Or for him, actually. I've seen his streams.
Continues to hold. Requiring very little time. They've almost got this one completely uncontested with the help of the camouflage. And they will take the lead here. Native White are on the ropes. 3 dead again. And Sentinels really starting to find their feet in this series.
Well, Native White just kind of waited long haul. I think they were hoping they'd just be able to set up for this next hill, but Sentinels were wise to it. And again, it was a pinch. Trippy box for one player and then up the camo stairs for the other. And now Sentinels have control, and of course they've got the shock in the hands of Lethal. And listen, look at that fly. They were listening to callouts there. They knew tapping buttons was on his own, had taken damage, and they ensured they shut him down quickly.
Lethal to hold the hill with shock rifle. We know he's more than capable in lining up a few headshots. Body shot on the tapping, enough to push him back. Big Boom will get aggressive, successfully too. 3 dead. And maybe this is an opportunity for Native White to get in the hill and start to build some momentum.
That was a very important and much needed push. They were getting outslayed 14-4, but they get all 4 dead now. Camo is going to be up, so that's probably good here for Sentinels, because it's going to be a slight distraction for Native White. Doesn't look like Sentinels are going to send anyone to it though, so Native, if they can get a couple of kills, they might just be able to swoop it up, and it looks like they will do so. It's Mikwin who grabs it alongside the shock. Second time's a charm again for Mikwin.
One to the spine, lines up the headshot. Booba Doobu just crouches at a clutch time to avoid the headshot. There's 2 down for Native White. Mikwin still has a little bit of camo to play with.
Enemy team took
Boo Boo holds the hill. He's got support. 2 members of Sentinels positioned behind him. Mikwin chasing shadows, finally tracks down Boo Boo Doo Boo. Tries to evade the attentions, but will go down. Both very even in terms of progression and time on this next hill. These next couple of slays are going to be pivotal.
Collector's trying to take a little bit of space here. Team Nades will damage him ever so slightly. I think he's aware of where Spartan is. Now he's wise to it, but he's already taken the damage. 3 versus 3 in terms of the death screen. 1 versus 1 in terms of who's on the map.
enemy team.
As Native White will retreat. They will just hold blue at the moment. They want to hold that kind of head glitch as long as possible, because it won't allow Sentinels to get in this hill. Sen really have to force Native White out of blue here. And that might just be trying to throw players at them, overwhelm them a little bit.
Sen continue to hold long haul. Native white hold blue. Beautiful nade will take Falcate down to just one shot. And as his shield starts to recharge, he can re-engage. But Mikwin stepped inside the hill. Both teams just baiting it. Falcate will go down. Beautiful shots from Mikwin. But every single time they step inside the hill, Spartan's over towards the whirlpool. And here come Native White. They decided this is the time to go, to claim the hill. Camouflage has popped up. 1-1 now the score.
Yeah, that was a good call from Native White. Just double hop it, make sure we get as many players in this hill as possible, because they were like edging their toes in each time, just adding an extra second here or there. Sentinels were never really going to be able to score that point from that position. And they couldn't really commit to trying to take the fight at blue as well, because if they had lost the fight at blue, they would have lost the hill, and then they would have lost the next. Because look at where Native White are. They have blue control, so they were able to quickly get over towards elevator. But Sen have done well to initiate that push because they were patient.
3 down for Native White. As the map quietens for a moment. Native White will spawn back up. Spartan's trying to hold pipes. He's there all alone. He's managed to get a trade, but that will open up the map now for Native to push through gold if they need to. Suspectors unsuspecting of Boo Boo. Back whack. Here is Mikwin through gold pipes. The work they've done to take down Spartan means the setup's a little bit janky, it's a little bit shaky. It could be about to break. His Collect could be about to lock in a triple, and he is. He's got a shock rifle to play with now.
Collect starting to heat up a little bit. He had a great game in the previous, but it just wasn't quite enough to send his team over the finish line. But perhaps he can start to think about a game 5 if he can start connecting with a couple of these shock rifle shots. Native White with a really good opportunity to take a 2-1 lead here in this game. He's just not able to line up that reticule onto anyone's head right now.
Very well have the game in his hands. A couple of shots go down. Will get one. Turns on a dime to try and help out his teammate. Trades come through, they're good enough. Spartan will clear out one. Tapping buttons, another. All 4 dead for the Sentinels. 2-1 now the score. Native White take the lead.
Still a good amount of time on the clock though, because these hills have just kind of been gathered up relatively comfortable by teams. Neither team has to panic, especially Sentinels anyway, even though they're behind, but Spectre straight into this next hill. Tapping, throwing grenades at everything. What's happening right now? He's just pressing buttons, I think, at this point. Oh wait, he's tapping
That's
them.
what he does actually, yeah. Boo Boo on mid-bridge. Getting a taste of his own medicine, a back whack to the spine. Now tapping ventures forward. Claiming spawns for his team. Offering a little bit of support to his player inside the hill. Really look to venture into long haul just to claim even more space. Happy just to hold what he has here in blue. Boo Boo is all the way over towards Bat Ledge, and Native White have so much time in this 4th hill.
Yeah, considering this game is pretty much tied on slays, there's only a few that separate the two in favor of Native White, but those few kills seem to have been everything, because now they find themselves 3-1 up. As we do start to crawl a little bit closer to a game 5 here on the main stage in elimination round 1. Sentinels getting overwhelmed here at elevator, but they are holding strong, will hold strong as 3 go down.
They are Native White. They've all 4 dead. They have to go again. They need one more capture to push this series to distance and send us to a shootout. Falcate now with the shock rifle in his hands. Suspector's top tower. He has to go hunting. He lines up Suspector. Eventually locks them in. 2 dead for Native White. And Sentinels continue to hold this whirlpool hill.
Yeah, unfortunately for Native White, they've not really been able to contest this hill enough to eat away at the clock. Oh! Tapping buttons. Electrocuted to the face, and now we're going to see, surely, Sentinels be able to secure this one. Native White might just have to give it up and take a little bit of map control here and start to think about how they want to play this bottom hill. 3-2.
Hill incoming.
Gonna be a brawl bottom middle then.
Enemy team took the hill.
Boo Boo's got camo. You got the first hill of the game. Very similar to this, with Native White in a very similar position. It can be precarious at times. You don't want to be the player to make the mistake. Tapping buttons is gone, but he's gone a little bit too early. Boo Boo can just bide his time here and wait for his teammates to spawn back up. Trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. All 4 shots connect. And a double kill for Boo Boo.
Tapping last remaining player. Now, what's important here for Native White is a big decision to be made is how hard do we fight for this hill? If we feel overwhelmed at any point, do we start to just take blue control? Because remember, when it started to move over towards that long haul round, blue control was everything for Native White and it allowed them to secure it. 1 minute 55 left. Native White making it difficult for Sentinels, making them work for it here. They are actively taking fights, maybe in areas Sentinels weren't expecting. But here comes Sentinels to try and secure a little bit of time.
Our Native White willing to gamble on the blue hill and let Sentinels back into this game. Allow them to tie it up and back themselves to hold the blue once more.
Enemy team
As
took
the Spectre
hill.
sits on nades. Collect's got to kill elsewhere. They're happy just to play time and eat away at the clock here.
Yeah, Mikwin had a very obvious decision there where he stepped in and then quickly stepped out. He did the hokey cokey, turned around, and now he's going to start to think about holding blue.
Enemy team took the hill.
They can still fight for that bottom hill though. It is still winnable just off of time. They just can't really allow Sentinels to get too much control here down at bottom mid.
Again, Dan and I have this argument all the time. It's actually the hokey pokey. Hokey cokey sounds weird.
Relax.
That's the Spectre. Goes towards tower now.
Team took the hill.
As you can see, this play-to-play time, a minute and 11 on the clock. Sentinels are back in hill. Spartan's got camo. Mikwin's in trouble as well. He's managed to get a kill, but he steps in trying to take care of the camouflage player. Spartan dips away, and Sentinels continue to hold the hill bottom middle. And Native White could be about to give up the blue spawns.
Yeah, this is going to be 3-3, surely. They are so close. Only 1 minute left on the clock. It spawns over towards Elevator, and now we're all tied up. And Sentinels are going to have blue control. All they have to do is whip Mikwin out of that position. This could be really tough now for Native White. I love that Mikwin just backed off, waiting for a little bit of support because they know how important it's going to be here to fight for this position.
Spartan playing his life so well, being a nuisance. Mikwin will get one though, eventually puts him away. You hear the little splash as his body hits the water. Mikwin back blue. Now we've seen this movie before. This is exactly how it played out last time, and it was Native White who secured the hill. We've got 42 seconds of regulation time. We could be going to overtime.
The likelihood is we will be going to overtime. I don't see either team really securing this in the next 40 because Sen are going to have to try and fight for blue. Sen are doing well at dipping their toes in, just as Native White had done before. I think they're wise to it. I think they know the plan here from Native White. They're watching the right angles, and maybe we might see it get scored here. After all, 3 are dead for Native White. They've regained control of blue, and they are so close to winning this series.
They hold blue. They hold long haul. The Spectres just slipped through the cracks. 2 kills go in their favor. Boo Boo also falls. It's all on the shoulders of Spartan the dog. He's down to no shield. Tapping buttons is there, and now he's in the hill.
All 4 dead. Native White, they regain control. And they still keep their tournament alive. It's do or die right here, right now. They cannot afford to let this setup slip.
Camouflage just popped up. Who's going to be brave enough to make the move? It's going to be tapping buttons. And he's in the hill. And he's holding. He steps away for a moment, picks up a couple of plasma grenades. Here comes the cavalry in the shape and form of Collect. But he's in the hill again. 13 seconds as he steps out. Spartan dives in, Spartan falls. Falcate could be about to join him, and is. Lethal in long haul. Needs help, it won't come quick enough.
Great play though from Tapping in the moment. Staying alive, being a nuisance, big damage, big grenades, and winning big fights as Native White are still scoring. Sentinels backs against the wall a little bit here. They know they have to push. We're going to probably head to overtime shortly. Lethal falls, Spartan falls, Tapping is still alive, but Boo Boo takes down 1. Here comes Falcate and Ascend make their push.
Massive 1v1 on the map right now. Boo Boo's down in shield, has to give it up for now. These final moments on a knife edge. Native White not willing to wave the flag of surrender just yet. There's still life in them here. But Sentinels have the position that they need. Lethal continues to get killed. 3 dead apiece. It's a 1v1 for the ages, but Falcate's down to no shields. He has to stay alive. It's imperative to the cause. And Tapping Buttons gets the kill. And Tapping Buttons holds once more, but he also goes down. Native White pushes to a game 5. It's a shootout.
Could Falcated have hold on to that hill just a second longer is the biggest question I have. But he felt like he had to just try and play his life. But what a passage of play from tapping buttons in those final moments. Held the camouflage, picked his fights perfectly, held strong when he was being pressured. And Native White, they keep their tournament alive as we go to Game 5 now. Maybe this could be the moment where Native White, they rewrite the script of their top 12s back to back to back, and they find themselves bursting into the top 8.
Once more we go. We wouldn't have it any other way. Game 5. Nothing to separate these two after 4. Tapping buttons going to eat a rocket very early. And a bulldog in the hands of Falcated as he immediately looks for that stalker rifle.
And this is when you want players like tapping buttons to do what he had done in the previous game, to pop off a little bit. Will Collect start to make a name for himself? Or will one of the old guards, the likes of Lethal, the likes of Boo Boo Doo, can they be the ones to make the difference here to stay alive in this tournament?
When you're growing up, when you're watching Halo, these are the moments you dream of. To be the difference maker, with all eyes on you. To keep your team in a tournament. All tied up. Falcated under the bus shelter. Trying to tie him. And Falcated will step out now, will engage in the cafe. 2 members of Native White to contend with. Damage will be traded back and forth. Both teams very acutely aware of what a mistake could mean at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about these moments, and I can tell you from my playing history, like, Game 5s, whilst the feeling of winning a Game 5 is one of the most glorifying things you can ever experience when competing. Losing a Game 5, one of the worst, and the nerves that will be going through some of these players' minds right now, you just can't let it affect your gameplay, but it will, naturally. Risks you might not take that you would if you were just playing online, for example. This is when you really need your coaches, your IGLs, to just be able to step up and kind of take control of these games, to kind of do some of that thinking for you, so you can just focus on aiming, focus on being that aim star that we know the likes of tapping button can be, for example.
Who's going to handle the pressure better? I know if I'm in that lobby, I'm shaking like a leaf. Tapping buttons with 2 shroud screens down bottom middle. As both teams contend for the rockets. Bulldog Spartan is good for 1. 3 dead for Sentinels, it was 2 for Native White. It's a 3-kill game for now.
I mean, if you solely base it off experience and who's done it more and who's been here before, Sentinels have that upper hand for sure. You saw the Game 5 statistic wins as well throughout the season. Sentinels have done it 3 times against 2, whereas Native White have lost 2 Game 5s and won 2 Game 5s. So it's pretty even across the board. As this game also fairly even as well, 13-12. Not much ammo left in the Stalker rifle, but we'll have control of when that spawns a little bit later.
Boo Boo eats a friendly nade. It was detrimental to the cause. But his teammates are there to capitalize on the damage that was initially put down on tapping buttons. They get that kill, they secure it, and they retreat. 3 members of Native White now against 2 members of Sentinels. 3 dead somehow, some way. Lethal's still alive and has half shield to play with. He steps out once more and gets the kill. Sentinels take the lead.
Yeah, that was a 4v4 on just one side of the map, it felt, but it was Sentinels who baited and switched just a little bit better there. It looks like it might happen again as Arcade is going to be flooded with players. Falcated gets the opener, that will be traded out. But Miquid also falls to Boo Boo Doo Boo. Bulldog is going to be a big difference maker this game. We know it, they know it. The Stalker rifle is going to be a big focus as Collect tries to escape but does not. These rockets up in 25 seconds, but Lethal. Solid shots onto Suspect.
Lethal by name, lethal by nature. Beautiful shots as he slides across the map, gets the kill as well. Spartan desperately trying to close the distance. He knows how important the Bulldog can be, how much damage he can do at close range. He looks to re-engage across the other side of the map. Sends a couple of warning shots. But it's Native White have a damage advantage, but with good reason, because Sentinels stepped out to get the rockets, and as it falls down the bottom of B stairs, as do Sentinels, all 4 fell for a moment.
1 rocket left for Collect to work with. He's just kind of listening at the moment to see if teammates have any info on spawns. Sentinels just keeping themselves at arm's length at the moment. They don't want to show. because they know full well that this rocket could not only get a kill, but it opens up a push, but Mikwen's fallen to Boo Boo.
Native White are a man light here. Make it 2 as they trade back and forth. 3-kill game. Lethal trying and successfully living. He's got Suspector over towards Cafe, who slipped away again. Threat sensor goes down, not picking up the information that he would want. Next spot in middle, now big stairs. It's so cagey, it's so nervy.
Boo Boo every single time seems to be getting the opener, but that's a great reply from Native. They have the extra player now. Lethal trying to finish off that damage. That's an experienced veteran right there. In and out, job done, and now back to where you were previously.
As he heads towards heaven. And he rained down fire and brimstone over here and be a little bit of a nightmare for Native White. Good damage. Gives up territory, gives up the spot for now. Look down long haul, Mikwen, half shields. Lethal continues to do really good damage on the map. But it's Native White who still hold a lead of 3. Rockets in 10. They're going to be huge.
6 minutes left on the clock. We've lost half the time. As both teams just kind of eyeing each other up now. Shroud screen goes down to cover those rockets. And it's Native White who are there waiting to pick them up. It's Collect again. Connects with 1, as well as the rest of the team picks up 2. And now suddenly it's a 6-kill lead for Native White. Sen on the back foot. They weren't able to get those rockets. This could be huge for Native White's chances as Spartan also falls. It's a 7-kill lead. And Native White are starting to feel themselves now as another rocket goes in.
Just all starting to unravel for Sentinels. 7 kills the difference between these two teams in our game 5. Native need 11, and if they're successful, Sentinels are going home with a top 12 placement.
Which is crazy when you consider the tournament that they had at Salt Lake City when they were at 2nd place, and we were thinking of what we might see from Sen for the rest of the season. But they found themselves falling to top 8 at Fort Worth. They're on the brink of now top 12, and Native White, the job is not done yet. A 6-kill lead is still not enough. It's 7, they're up to 40. This Stalker rifle that's coming up could really help them, but it's the Bulldog from Collect that is allowing them to get yet another kill. But he has passed it off. That's a power weapon for Sentinels to work with.
Great poke damage from Suspector. Tapping buttons. Will retreat. Mistakes at this point could be detrimental, but Collect gets the opener again. And he stays alive in red, which could be even more important. Mikwen's gonna fall though. Collect again gets a kill. Spartan in a 1v1. Collect down to 1 shot. Spartan will come out on top. 5 kills now, the difference.
Native White just need to be careful here. They don't want to play into some of Sentinel's traps. Sentinels have time to work with. 4 minutes on the clock, so they don't have to panic and rush as Boo Boo has the Stalker. It's a 4-kill game now. Rockets are going to be coming up. If Sentinels get hold of these rockets, as Spartan gets another one, then this lead suddenly starts to slip away from Native White. Tapping buttons has gone down. Rockets have been picked up, and Sen, they're back in this game. It's 42-43, and Native White, they were up by 8 at one point, but Sentinels showing their experience as we're all tied up.
What shots from Lethal to back Mikwen away on the rails. He had but a pixel to aim at, and he hit all but 3 bursts. And now it's Sentinels in the ascendancy. They have a 1-kill lead. And Rockets are heading into PD. They're not even required. 2 kills separate these teams as we head towards the end game.
It's only 1 push really that Sentinels need. It could all be chained off of this kill from Spartan with a rocket. If he can find the first, which he does, but Suspector's traded. It's a killing spree. 47-45. Sen pushed one way, Native White pushed the other.
These teams continue to push and pull. And it's Native White who have made it towards Red Room. Spartan has got to be careful here. Grenades go down, he's aware. He cannot fall because it could open the door for a collapse. 3 members of Native White positioned over towards this arcade side. Tapping buttons continues to jiggle peek. He's done good damage. This could be the moment. as they continue to hold. Tapping buttons falls. Boo Boo Doo Boo's there. One more kill. Is it going to be the dog? Miquin runs. Miquin will survive for now. And he gets chased down. And Falcated wins the game for Sentinels. They keep their tournament alive.
The lights are still on in Sen City, but for Native White, the tournament is done. It's another top 12. Tried as they might, they came so close. They had an 8-kill lead, but Sen will clutch up as Boo Boo stood up and said, that's what we do. Maybe we get to see another Sentinels run in this tournament.
Thank you so much, casters. Give it up, Seattle, for Sentinels as they continue on with their tournament run. And Boo Boo, I know that was a stressful match for you, losing the first map. You guys go up 2-1. We saw a possible comeback happening in map number 4 that really didn't happen. And going into that game number 5, you were down about 8. I saw the score about 40-33. You're winning on a 17-5 run there. Talk to me about those final moments. How were you feeling when you were down there, and how did y'all make that comeback possible?
I mean, you just play it to the end. You never give up, and that's why you never give up. We were down like, I saw 39-31, I think.
Okay.
But we got those rockets. I had a stalker. I didn't miss a single stalker shot for like 2 minutes straight.
You definitely did not.
And the team just like, we just played good. We played aggressive. We didn't care what the score was. We just played it accordingly and came out with a dub. It's about time we finally clutch up.
You definitely did clutch up right there, and it's a perfect time here at Champs. Everybody, kind of saw what the perfect play had to be in that moment, and you guys set the pace, and what a fantastic victory. But you guys are here in the losers bracket and haven't had the results that you wanted. How do you guys plan on building off of that going forward with the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta just live in the moment. That didn't happen. The other series didn't happen. We gotta go next and just keep
Go
improving.
next, yo.
Yeah.
Okay, have that goldfish memory. Don't worry about nothing else. Worry about the next matchup. Anything you want to say to these fans out here who was cheering, watching this awesome comeback?
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully that was entertaining. Thank you guys for showing up and supporting Sentinels. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Sentinels and Boo Boo one more time. Lottie, take us away.
Thank you so much, Blaze. We love seeing Boo Boo pop off on the main stage, and rightfully so. That was such a tough series, such a close one.